We are here at Nichols College in Dudley, Mass. We're talking with someone whose name may not be a household name, but when you hear of his record of accomplishments and his, what do you want to say, the things that you thought of and started out, you'll be impressed. It's Lou Imbriano. Did I say it right?
Perfect.
Almost Sicilian.
Almost.
Almost Sicilian. A little bit. Lou, you spent many, many years in the radio business prior to NFL time. Tell me a little bit about what you think the changes in radio have taken place over the last decade and how social media and all the new media is impacting that particular medium.
Well, I mean, radio has changed so drastically. Will have to change so drastically because social media is actually, I liken Twitter to a radio station. Mm-hmm. The only thing is, it's your own personal radio station. So why should people have to be broadcast to when they can engage constantly? So radio stations have to migrate to the point where they're doing much more interaction, much more engaging with listeners in order for it to be
more two-way communication.
Much more two-way communication, no doubt. No doubt.
From radio, you went on to the Patriots and chief marketing officer, and also ran the soccer team, the New England Revolution. What would you say your biggest accomplishment? Well, wait, stop that, because that's your standard PR question.
Right.
What was your biggest surprise when you went to the National Football League?
I think I was most surprised that I thought you go to the NFL and you're going to find, at the time, there was only 28 teams, the 28 greatest minds in marketing.
And you were shocked.
I was shocked that it wasn't the 28 greatest minds. In fact, there was a lot of guys who were old school, more PR oriented, and not really and truly marketers. And I think that was the biggest shock. It was pleasant. It was a pleasant shock because it allowed me to really do my magic, because we were at the radio station when you're selling air and you're marketing nothing and have zero budget. It gives you a lot of the skill set that you can transfer to anything else. So without money, without a lot of the bells and whistles, we were able to do a lot of great things with the Patriots and really build that marketing, their marketing presence up a lot.
Talk about persistence in your business, in the marketing business, as well as pro sports. How important is that trait of persistence?
I think if you want to be successful, it doesn't matter what you know, it doesn't matter what courses you've taken, it doesn't matter what you've studied. What matters is how hard you keep working at it and not giving up. There should be no such thing as failure. Failure is only when you quit. So as long as you don't quit and you keep moving and pushing and finding ways to get it done, then you're fine. Most people set out with this plan, and then all of a sudden they hit a bump in the road and they say, "Oh my God, what do I do next? What do I do?" Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Well, let me ask you this: there are people in your former position that could probably stay with the team for 25 or 30 years, and maybe you encountered that when you first got into the, the National Football League. But you must have had some kind of entrepreneurial spirit to cut loose and do your own thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in sports who are just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know what? I'm always looking to, okay, what's the next thing? What can we? I like prodding and poking and figuring out, okay, how can we make this better? How can we change how they do it? And once you get to a point where you've done everything you can for an organization, that's when you know it's time to move.
Time to move.
I was with 10 years with the radio station. I was just about done in anything I could do. I was 10 years with the Patriots and Revolution. I did just about everything I could do. It was time to move on. And before I started with the Patriots, my plan was to leave the radio station and start my own company.
Okay.
And then I met the Crafts, and they kind of brought me in. It was a great experience.
So that has pretty much been a pretty good portion of your resume for credibility purposes.
Working for the #1 sports station in Boston and the New England Patriots is pretty good for credibility. But
well, let me go back.
Go
When you started in the radio business, you weren't at the top stations, were you?
No. I started at HDH Radio. And by
the old 850?
The old 850.
Yep.
People don't remember when sports radio was at 590.
Yep.
When we first started, a lot of the people who listened didn't like to tell anybody they listened to it.
Yep.
We weren't getting great ratings.
Right.
We weren't blowing it out. It wasn't the EEI that it is today. It took a lot of time building, changing, and really tweaking everything to the point that it is today.
And the Patriots weren't winning like they are now either.
Patriots were in the middle of the pack. They were doing in my department, they were doing about $16 million in revenue. we started doing great relationship-oriented marketing. We started, building a new stadium, winning, and all of it combined, it allowed us to get to the point where the team, when I left, was doing $92 million in revenue. They won 3 Super Bowls. We had a brand new stadium. So
now let's talk about signage.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that signage is just a cat's meow, but you talk about the relationships behind the agreement, don't you?
Yeah, everybody likes to say, everybody thinks sports marketing is buying a sign and saying, here I am.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's all about how you build relationships with your consumers, your fans, and how you engage with them. And you really, as a great sports marketer, can build consumer-centric programs.
Now, I know you're Italian, so the hand is moving, but let's see the ring while you're... okay, so keep talking.
So it doesn't matter if you're WNBA or if you're the NFL. You want to create programs that help the brands that you're doing business with, helping them reach their consumer and drive the consumer to their business and their products.
What's next for Lou?
I'm going to write
Sweet
a book.
Lou.
I'm writing a book.
What kind of book?
It's a marketing book, and marketing and business book.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing is I talk about something I did either at the station or at the Patriots.
Something like that?
It's a little bit thicker, but
a little bit thicker. Just got small print. Okay.
So it's taking my experiences, and then I talk about the philosophy about why we did it, and then the third piece is saying, okay, now this is how you do it with your company. So it's not a sports marketing book.
Nope. But how to take sports-related themes and adapt them to regular business.
Everybody has a season ticket holder. If you're a restaurateur, your regular customers are your season ticket holders. Now the question is, how do you grow those season ticket holders to spend more money, spend more revenue, and become a customer?
Lifetime.
That's right.
Lifetime customer. I know you're pacing here. You're ready to go. You're going to be here speaking to the students. Thanks so much for taking time out of your time just before you speak, because a lot of people in your position like to just go into a little funk beforehand. But you've been very polite.
No problem. Happy to do it.